Welcome to the 2024 Kia Telluride. Now 2024 has minor changes, 2025 has no changes, and I'm going to show you the top SX Prestige X Pro model. Let's go ahead and start on the exterior right here. So Kia has their recently updated logo. You've got LED fog lights, LED headlights. Not long ago, Kia actually gave us these amber lights right here. So you got the turn signals, but you've got amber daytime running lights as well. Full LED headlights, the high and low beams with projectors. And this one is sporting the wolf gray paint. I think it looks pretty nice. It's a matte color for sure, but there's a lot of different options. This X Pro model also gives us these unique 18-inch black wheels and even all-terrain tires. Didn't expect that, but this is kind of their off-road, more rugged variant of the Telluride. So what do y'all think? Dimensionally, the Telluride is the same, 197 inches. So now, with new competitors, it's actually starting to be one of the smaller options, but it still has excellent space, excellent cargo space and legroom overall. The mirror even has a turn signal on it. You've got roof rack available up there, or roof rails to put a rack up on top. Ground clearance is actually 8.4 inches with the X Pro model, which is pretty good. I mean, that's pretty much 4x4 pickup territory for some models. So you can't really argue with that. You even have some LED parts to the turns or to the rear tail light here as well. You've got a dual or like a split exhaust back there. Overall, I think the Telluride looks pretty sharp still. What do y'all think? So Kia's got a feature. Kia and Hyundai and Genesis, they all have a feature which can be cool or can be annoying depending on if you want to use it. Most of the vehicles have like a hands-free foot activated liftgate. This one, if you just stand here for a few seconds, it will automatically open. It'll beep a few times, and then if you walk away with the key, it will automatically close. So you don't have to use your foot, you don't have to use your hand or anything. You can turn that off or on if you want to. Then Kia gives us good space overall, especially considering the exterior dimensions. Now, these three-row crossovers are never going to give you as much space as a minivan back here because you don't have nearly the depth like you would in a minivan underneath of this floor. But look at that. You still get space to even put a little cargo cover, throw some extra odd items back there. You've got some tie downs. You have a 115-volt plug. You've got a cargo net hook right there as well. This works great for like a grocery bag hook too, so it's nice to see that and have that offered. 12-volt power outlet, and you can fold down the second row seats using that. The third row is just these straps, and it's real easy. So when you pull that, the headrest will go down, and then you can just kind of guide it down. Boom, nice and flat. And this is your space behind the second row when you have the third row folded. Let's go ahead and fold those down. Hopefully we got room. Boom, look at that, we do. So that one didn't quite go down all the way, but you can go up there and move it. But look at this, very cavernous space. Kia designed this very well, and I got far enough away that it's gonna automatically close. So now you can see that. Now the key fob here is actually pretty slick. I like this backing that they have on here. It's on both sides, and the buttons are on the sides of the fob instead of on kind of just the main part of it. But you have remote start on here, which is with this button right there. Smart key system is standard on this model, obviously. It is not on the back doors, it's just on the front door here. You press this little depression to lock it. You've got your mirror that folds and flashes, and then it is a sensor in the back. You can also use your phone as a digital key to get in as well. Now, taking a look at these front seats, Kia does a really nice job with these seats. You have Napa leather on this trim. You even have X Pro, because we have the X Pro model right here. You've got this stitching running down through here, this nice pattern. You have good bolsters on the sides. These look great. You have some kind of flat, more flat type bolsters down here, and you really get a ton of adjustments. So you have 4-way lumbar support. You have your regular height, tilt, recline function, and then you can even adjust the leg support, the thigh cushion right there. So lots of adjustments on here, very comfortable seats overall. They are heated, ventilated, and you also get memory settings over here on the door. The only thing really that is not in here that a lot of people could complain about is the fact that the steering wheel is manual tilt and telescoping, but it is heated and leather wrapped. And like I said, you've got heated and ventilated seats up here on both sides. The only thing is the passenger does not have the memory setting available to them. And just like I said, these are comfortable seats. I've got no complaints. I've spent a good amount of time in a Telluride over the course of the years since it came out, and it's always been comfortable for me. Now let's hop into the back seat. So Kia does a really nice job in the back. So first of all, the door panel itself is nice too, even a soft armrest. You have a little storage down there, but there's more, don't worry. You've got these sunshades on most trims. You even have a grab handle to get in back here. We've got the bucket seat set up, so you've got these captain's chairs. They have their own armrests. It's still the same leather. Everything looks really nice. Couple things right off the bat. You've got map pockets right there. You've got drink holders here. You've got USB-C charging ports built in to each seat back. There's also a little hook right here. I think my wife would like this to be able to just put her purse on there, or a bag, or anything simple like that. Goodie bag for your kids if they're in the back or something. Down below that, we have a 3-prong outlet. So you've got 115 volt plug right there. Plus you have a 12 volt power outlet for whatever else you need to charge. These armrests are ratcheting, so you can have it in a comfortable position if you want to. The climate controls and the lights are up there. You've got big LED lights. You even have automatic climate. It is a single zone for the back seat, but they can control that up there. I like how it is there so that the kids can't really mess with it unless they're older and taller. You've got your roof AC vents on both sides as well as your grab handles, and just a nice suede headliner in here too. Take a look at this legroom. I'm 5'9", that's where I sit. Tons of foot space and leg space, and these seats can scoot forward, and if I am in the furthest forward position to give the third row more room, I've got a ton of legroom still, or not a ton, but a good amount, like plenty to be comfortable. And you can recline, so you can recline quite a bit, scoot forward, scoot backwards, and be very comfortable. But wait, there is more. Back here in this trim, you get heated and ventilated seats for the second row. That is fantastic. Third row access is still quite good. You've got a couple options here. So you've got a convenient little button you can push up there. You've got a button you can push down there, as well as the lever to adjust the seat. Let's go ahead and push that, and that seat slides out of the way. Give it an extra push. You've got a pretty good amount of room to get into this third row, which is technically 3 across, definitely very small in the middle. All right, so again, I'm 5'9". This is with the seat in the furthest forward position where I could still sit and be comfortable. It is tight. This third row is low, so I mean your legs are pretty high up into the air, but this one is all the way back, and got my big white legs here. My knees are pushing into the back of it. If you have it somewhere in the middle, both second and third row could be comfortable for a person my size. Another cool thing, second and third row passengers get to enjoy this second pane of glass. This does not open up the glass. It's just a shade, but that's still pretty sweet. Other thing, third row passengers get AC vents, and we even get your own USB-C charging port on each side, as well as some cup holders. Another cool thing, so if I can find it, there we go. There's a little lever you can pull to recline. So I have good headroom in all of these rows, and you can recline and still be okay, even with the hat. I can feel my hat touch as I kind of go through this little section, but fantastic 3-row crossover, especially considering its exterior dimensions. Now let's take a fairly quick look at the interior. We've got push button start right here. It's a very simple interior, but still feature rich. So there's a lot of buttons, which might look overwhelming right away, but it's a very simple layout. Everything is labeled, and it's not, in my opinion, it's not too cluttered. It still looks fairly simplified, if you ask me. Now, right off the bat, you'll notice you've got this big digital cluster right here. It is all digital, somewhat connected to this big digital screen right there as well. So you can use your buttons to navigate it. You've got a ton of different customizable buttons and items that you can do on here. You even have a shortcut, which is that star down there. You can choose what that star takes you to. There's a bunch of different vehicle specific settings to customize, all kinds of stuff I've gone into detail on a little bit more. In this model, you also get a head-up display. It's pretty good size, and when you're driving, it'll show your driver assist features, cruise control, lane centering technology, all that stuff up there. Works great, looks great. The door panel even has nice trim on it. You've got soft material here, some nice trim there. Everything looks really nice and is laid out well in this Kia Telluride. One thing, you get this digital rearview mirror as well. So you have a camera or just a regular automatic dimming mirror. You still get garage controls right here. You have a sunglass holder up overhead, this suede headliner in here. You have a manual shade right there with the glass that opens, or as you may have saw in the back, you've got a second piece of glass back there where you can roll a shade back using a control right up there. So this is definitely pretty nice. Kia is really putting out a premium vehicle, or a nice vehicle with a lot of features for this class. Another thing, you shift into reverse, you get a 360 camera. So you've got dynamic lines for your backup camera. You've got that view right there. You can also press here and you can see all around the Telluride. So this can help you park, can help you in different situations, like if kids are riding their bikes behind you. I'm getting ganged up on. All of these controls down here are also very simple. In addition to that 360 camera, you've got parking sensors in the front and the back as well, which is nice. Climate control, dual zone here, a third zone technically for the rear, which you can control independently up here. That is nice. It's simple. You don't have to touch around on screens or search for different menus or anything like that. Down here, you've got a USB-A, a USB-C, 12-volt power outlet, and a wireless charging mat. You can cover it up if you'd like to. These models also have these almost like built-in grab handles here. It's just a nice touch, but you get some nice trim on there as well. A traditional conventional shifter. You've got a little storage slot. The cup holders are pretty good as well. I haven't had any complaints with this. Larger bottles, smaller bottles all fit in here pretty well. For drive modes, you can turn this knob to go between Smart, Sport, Comfort, Eco, or Snow. Smart mode, we'll talk about in the test drive, is basically, it will toggle between like Sport and Comfort or Eco, depending on how you're driving, and try to be, smart. You can also lock the center differential, so you've got all four wheels getting power equally. I'm sorry about all the beeping. I got kids riding around all over the place around me right now. And auto stop start, automatic brake hold, parking brake, parking sensors. Let's turn those off. That's why we're beeping. Then you can quickly pull up your camera right there. One little complaint I would have for the Telluride is that, and they're still, let me go ahead and hopefully shut all the sounds off, is this piano black right here. It still looks good, actually, considering all the press people. There's a little bit of, not stain, but just a smear right there that you can totally wipe off. But otherwise, this armrest is soft and it's actually pretty wide. Sometimes you run into some narrow armrests depending on the size of the vehicle. This is a pretty good one. Open it up. You've got an extra charging port in there. You've got this tray that can come out. So you've got a big bin or an extra little tray, which is nice. Plus, Kia gives you a locking glove box. I love that it's locking. You can also see the ambient lighting in here. So Kia gives you ambient lighting in different areas. I've got a video discussing the ambient lighting in the description below, so be sure to check that out. But overall, the Kia Telluride really offers a lot in the interior. Now under the hood, nothing changes for Kia. Kia actually is now one of the more unconventional models because it doesn't have a small turbo 4-cylinder or a hybrid or anything like that. It is just a straight shooting 3.8 liter V6. This V6 is direct injected and it gives us 291 horsepower, not bad, a decent amount of torque as well, paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission, and this X Pro model is all-wheel drive as standard. This X Pro all-wheel drive model gets 20 combined as far as miles per gallon, and the X Pro can also tow an extra 500 pounds for 5,500 pounds. One cool thing about this Telluride is that we have a self-leveling rear suspension. So if you actually are towing 5,000 pounds or 5,500 pounds and that rear end's gonna sag a little bit, it automatically levels itself. Some pickups do that too. It's nice to see that the Telluride can do that. And Kia still gives you their 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. All right, y'all, let's get behind the wheel of this Kia Telluride for a quick test drive. Now, in some of my older videos, I criticized the Telluride a little bit on its throttle response and being kind of laggy just with this engine, being a little different than some of the competitors. Now, the competitors have gone so much into the direction of turbo engines where this doesn't have a turbo, so it's hard to really even compare them. It's a personal preference on whether you like one or the other. Personally, I enjoy both. I see the benefit of both. I like having a naturally aspirated engine like this. It feels traditional, it still has good sound, it doesn't sound like a tiny engine driving a big vehicle of people around, and it's good enough. It does the job, and it's smooth, and it's comfortable. Speaking of comfortable, this ride is good. I mean, this Telluride just really checks all the boxes in so many areas. It doesn't handle as well as some or drive quite as sporty as some, but that's not its goal. I mean, its goal is to provide value and a lot of features for the price, and it definitely does that. If you want a nice driving three-row, like a sporty driving three-row or something that really is engaging to drive, this isn't it. But it's comfortable. It's a good family vehicle. It's a good day-to-day vehicle. It's not harsh. It's not loud. It's actually quite quiet. We have laminated side glass over here, so the wind noise is suppressed. The road noise is pretty good. Even with these all-terrain tires, there's just nothing intrusive as far as road noise. Like, this is a rough textured road. Some of you that listen and drive and come on these test drives with me know how loud some of these vehicles can be with these roads. This is not bad at all. The head-up display is easy to see. It's a good size. You can get rid of it, turn it off, adjust it as needed. The steering feel of the Telluride is kind of middle of the pack. Again, it's not an engaging, heavy, sporty type steering, but it's also not this lackadaisical, lightweight type of steering either. It's honestly just right for what this vehicle's intended purpose is for, in my opinion. Now, we are in smart mode. Let me put us in comfort mode, actually. So comfort is basically like the normal mode. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pedal down. Now that was pretty quick to respond. I mean, you gotta wait a little bit for a downshift, but with the turbo engine, if you just put a little pedal down, you get a pretty big boost right away, and then you kind of lose power as you go. With a naturally aspirated engine like this, it takes time to build up power. It's like a crescendo of power. And I'm gonna put us in sport mode, which will keep the RPMs up. It will keep you in a lower gear, so you're more prepared. And that was even a little softer than the original acceleration. But it's gonna hold those RPMs up. So if you get on it again, it's ready to go. It's like sports car driving now, 4,000 RPM, there it goes. If I put us in smart mode, it will determine if it should keep the RPMs up, kind of like sport mode. Like if you got some road rage going on and you're flooring it every 2 seconds to stay in front of somebody, it's gonna basically be like sport mode. If you're just Sunday cruising, it's gonna act like eco mode. So it'll change and adapt depending on how you drive, and most of you probably be just fine leaving it in smart mode. It doesn't change the suspension or anything like that, but it gets the job done. Ergonomically, everything is nice in here. One thing I failed to mention is that this has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. However, it's not wireless, and I've actually had a problem with it. It worked for a couple days, and now it's telling me I have to get an approved USB. I don't have an Apple specific USB that I've plugged in there. I've got USB cords that I've used with every other vehicle that I drive that work just fine, but it hasn't been working in here, and I've tried 3 different USB cords and it won't let me connect my Apple CarPlay. I still use the Bluetooth, but it's a little bit annoying because just about everything is wireless Apple CarPlay now. But aside from that, comfort features, you've got the heated and ventilated seats in here. You've got the heated steering wheel. The back seat has heated and ventilated seats. You've got the moonroofs up there, 2 of them. You've got the head-up display. You've got premium Napa leather. You've got a quality ride. You've got good enough power, a long warranty, and excellent space through all 3 rows. Cargo space is still good as well, in a package that's not as big as like a Tahoe or an Expedition, and significantly less expensive than something like that. Not the same class or category of vehicle, but still, this could really check the boxes for a lot of people. And I hope you enjoyed this test drive. I've got plenty of videos on the Telluride at night. I've got a pro-con video. I've got different model years, different trims throughout the year, so be sure to check those out in the description below. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.